Back, almost the last video in the spreadsheet unit here. This one's going to be on one of the most popular functions in Excel. It's called XLOOKUP. Easier, just to give you an example. Sometimes in your spreadsheets, there's going to be information like this. Here's a little part of this spreadsheet that has a book ID, name of the book, and what genre it is. And then later on another part of your spreadsheet, you're going to have maybe a customer purchasing stuff. So this is the customer checkout. They scan the books, and as they scan the books, the IDs of the books pop up, and you want it to say like the name, and of course later on the price and other stuff. Well, that information is up here. How can you find information from up here and somehow get the spreadsheet to automatically make use of it down here? Well, that's what XLOOKUP is for. Let's just show you how XLOOKUP works, and then it'll sort of make sense. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. Okay. Okay, oh, it's going to be tricky. I just want to get it so you can see everything here. Okay, not bad. So down here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to type an equation. I'm going to say equals. And the function we want is literally called XLOOKUP. And you put a bracket. Now, here's what we got to do in the XLOOKUP. The first thing you do is you say, what value are we looking up? Well, the idea is I want to look up 242. I want to look it up in here. And when I find it, then I want to grab the book name from this column over here. So that's our goal, okay, what the lookup does. You look and find something in a column, and then it can hop over to other columns and grab the matching information. So let's go for it. I want to look up A19, okay? And then you put comma. And then the next thing you're going to put is here you want to put where to do your search. And this is technically called an array. An array is just like a series almost, but it's a chunk of your spreadsheet that has multiple values. So go look for whatever's in A19. Go look for it in here. Do not include the heading. Okay, so now it's going to look up in there. Now hit a comma. And it's going to find it in some row. Let's assume it finds it in some row. What value in the matching row do you want to grab? So when it finds 242, I want to grab the matching value from this chunk of data. And so what you do is you highlight that array and then put a comma. Now, the next two things will be the same all the time for you guys. If it's not found, then I just want to show, let's just show for us, NA for not available. You can put anything there. You can even leave this blank, but I'll just put NA. That way you'll know if it's not finding something. And then put another comma, and this is where we tell it exact match only. And that code is a code 0. How do you know it's a 0? Because I'm telling you it's a 0, but there's different codes you can put. Like you could say, consider it a match if it's close. Consider it a match if it's, 80% the same. You can do a few varieties. 0 means 0 difference. It has to be an exact match, right? So it has to find 242. Now, that's it. I'm going to hit enter and you're going to see it works, right? And then it says, hey, do you want to fill down? Now, I'm not going to fill down. Okay, because there's going to be a little trick to that. Okay, so you can see how it works. If I was to do that again, let me do it again with the line below and just explain it one more time because this one is a bit of a different function, right? So equals X lookup. What are you looking for? I'm looking for A20. Where am I looking for it? I'm looking for it in here. When I find it in there, where's the matching value? The matching value is going to be in this section of data. So again, I'm looking for 767. It's going to find it here, which is the 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th row. So in this section, it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the 5th row and grab alphabet time. If it's not found, I'll just write NA and exact match, so comma 0. And it finds the alphabet time. So pretty good. That's basically VLOOKUP. Okay, it's that easy. Now, filling down with VLOOKUP is a different story. So I'm not going to do it yet. I'll come and do the fill down after because there's a trick you have to do with absolute values. Let me jump to example 2. This would be a very common example of VLOOKUPs. I'm checking out, I've got a quantity, I want to calculate the cost. Well, to find the cost, I know they bought the pen. What's the price of the pen? Well, to save me looking up and typing it manually, I can basically do the VLOOKUP again. So let's go for it. Sorry, I call it the VLOOKUP because there's another one called VLOOKUP that is very similar. Okay, let's go. XLOOKUP. I am looking for the word pen. Where am I going to look for it? I'm going to look for it up in here. When I find it, what matching column do I want to line it up with? Well, not the one beside it this time. This time I want to find the price. So I want to find the matching value in here. So if it finds pen on the 1, 2, third line, it's going to go here and grab the 1, 2, third line and grab the 199. That's why usually you want your stuff lined up nicely, right? It makes it easier to work. If it's not found, I'm just going to say not found. You know what? For this one, I'll show you something different. I'll say if it's not found, just put 0 and exact match, 0. That's always going to be 0 at the end there. And you can see it works. Do not autofill. Okay, what would the cost be? Well, this is not an XLOOKUP. This is just going to be stuff you've learned before. The cost would be the quantity times by the price. And you should probably flick that to $ formatting. And there you go. Okay, last example here. Double. Okay, double VLOOKUP. I'll just do one line here. So this time, this is a popular idea. When you store things like workers, you actually give them a name, obviously. They have their own name, but you never write down their name, right? When you're doing like work on the computer, usually refer to them by their number, just like a lot of you are known as a student number inside the grade book, you know, your teacher's grade book. And in the database of the school, you're a student number. Okay, your name is like just a little extra bonus information. So check this out. This would be like how records are actually kept at a business. They would keep your ID, right? And then in another table, they would store your ID with how much you get paid per hour. So that's how it links you, right? Like person 1, oh, that's Adam. And Adam makes 24 bucks an hour. So let's give this a go here. This is saying, let me do it. I'll do it here for this row here. I'll do line 4 here. So 4, actually, let me do it for 3. For this one here, I want to find the worker's name. I'm given their ID. Well, if I know their ID, I can find their name. So if you want to stay ahead of me here, you can try it, but it's going to be an XLOOKUP. What am I looking for? I'm looking for their ID. Where am I looking? I'm looking in that array there. Where's the matching data? The matching data is in that one there. If I can't find it, put NA and 0 for exact match only. Do not autofill. All right, I got Celine. How do I get their hourly rate? Well, their hourly rate is over here. Well, I still have their ID, right? So let's do another XLOOKUP. XLOOKUP. What am I looking for? I'm looking for their ID. Where am I looking? This time I'm going to look. I could actually go here or here, but let me do this one. You can see the order's different. 3, 2, 4, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So definitely look in here. And when I find it in there, I'm going to find it on the first row. I'm going to match it with the first row of that salary. If I can't find it, let's just put a salary of 0 and exact match. So put another 0. And now how do I get their pay? Well, to get their pay, it's just going to be their rate times the hours they worked. And that's it. And maybe I'll switch all of these quickly here to $. All right, so you got the dollars. Anyways, that's the that's the XLOOKUP, right? It's like a cross search. So it's not that bad, right? It's probably your hardest function. That's why we end with it. Now, when I told you guys The fill down. Let's check the fill down and see if it works. I've put some equations here, right? I did the worker name, the hourly rate, and the pay. Let me try a fill down on this and see if it works. I'm going to go to fill down, and ooh, it worked for one, sort of. Did it even work for one? Is 4 Daniel? 4 is Daniel, 3 Celine, and then it started not working quite properly. Here's why. It has to do with when you fill down. Let me control tilde and show you the equations. And let me expand this a bit here. Look at what it's done when I filled down. When I filled this down, it took all my cell references. That's just what you type for the cells. And every single row I went down, it changed them. It made them relative. 59 became 60, 60, 61, 60, 62. But that's good for this first one. But that's a problem for this. This second piece of information here is always supposed to be A51 to B54. It's always A51, 54. I can't change that, but look at what it did when it filled down. It became 52 to 55, 53 to 56. Eventually it's 60 to 63. I'm now saying, go find that ID in here. And I'm not even in that original little section anymore. I'm way down in here, and it's messing up completely. So I'm going to undo here, and I'm going to go backwards. I undid my fill down, and here's what I'm going to change in my equation. You can probably guess it. I have to put absolute references. So this one can stay the same. When I fill down 3, well, the next person should be grabbing the 4. The next person grabbing the 2. This value can be left alone. But this one here has to be A51, and it has to be to A54. Same thing here. This, where it matches up, has to stay there, right? It can't change. So that one has to be absolutely B51 and B54. And when you do that, and I take the cursor to the end and hit enter, now when I fill down, it works. Or if I fill up, whoops, I went a little too far there. Or if I go up, it totally works. And you would have to do that same trick for the hourly rate as well. If you go into that equation, this A59, yeah, that can change, but you cannot change the source data. So I have to put all these references, $signs in front of each, and that forces the reference. And then if I go to the very end here, hit enter, you're going to see now this works properly, and I can fill up. So if you actually go back, you'd have to do it with, these as well. The same problem's going to occur here as well. When I go to look at the price, A29 to A32, well, that's right there, A29 to A32. I can't have that jumping down to there and jumping down to there as it fills down. It has to be absolute reference. Anyways, that's absolute reference with XLOOKUP.